Okay. Oh shit, I just closed the page out. God dang it. Let's see what this Shibun is about. This will be a quick one. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honor, salutations to the elders, the apostles, great millstones. Sincere shalom to the hopeful elect, man, woman, and child. My name is Makwadash out of the LA camp, Pasadena branch. Again, call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Basham Rakakwadash. Coming in the name of the Heavenly Father and His Son, the true names according, okay, to true biblical archaeology. Yahweh the Father, Yahweh Shai the Son. Bahasham means in the name. So we come in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly called God and Jesus. All right. But let's just play this. This ain't even no lesson, because I got a whole nother lesson. I'm prepared. I just got to put the videos together. But I just want to show you the Shibun. Look at this. I'm that nigga. Now this guy right here, if you watch his other videos, I don't know his name. I just know this dude from social media. He's made a thing. He's the Gypsy Crusader. You can look up a dude named the Gypsy Crusader. As a matter of fact, we'll probably get that after this. Well, the Gypsy Crusader, he hosts a like a live thing where I don't know, I don't be on the internet like that, but all around the world you could like Skype, some Skype type deal. You could sit on the camera with people and exchange words, and he'll, this dude Gypsy Crusader, he's made it a big thing. There's a few of them floating out there. You just straight up call you niggers and monkeys and chicken eating watermelon baboons and shit, and they'll say it to you people's face. All right, so this guy right here, he goes around antagonizing Jake. All right, like the same thing, but he's actually on the street. He's not behind the he does his thing live. He don't do it behind the camera. And usually he uses dudes. He'll antagonize Jake. Like I seen his last video, like a group of 3 Jakes, call them monkeys and niggers and all niggers and all of that with the hard R, ER, and then get the clutching on this burner. Like yeah, do something, yeah, I'll take this gun out. So that's a new thing. All right, under this MAGA regime, so-called. All right, we know that DJ Trump was set up to breathe some life back into the Edomite. All right, if you don't know what that is, that's the biblical nationality of the so-called white man. All right, and a lot of you people are lost. So what's happening in the earth is a battle between good and evil, and the Edomites represent evil. The sons of Jacob represent, righteousness. All right, Esau versus Jacob. All right, and the Lord is of that lineage of Jacob. So when you speak about salvation, the Lord, who you ignorantly call Christ, coming back, he's coming back to save a remnant of Jacob, the elect. Okay, the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigner Gentiles that might look like the heathens. And then you got the Edomites in their respective tribes. You got the Temanites, you got the everyday Caucasian over here, all throughout America, Europe. And then you have the head tribe of the Edomites, which are Amalek, which right now they're calling the Iranians, they're calling other people Amalek. They're calling the Arab and Elamite people Amalek, but they're actually Amalek. That's the chief tribe of Esau, Edom, the small hats. So, since the prophets, all right, since this spiritual reckoning, because that's what's happening, it's a spiritual thing, because we're dealing with spiritual, in high places, you know what I'm saying? The rulers of this world, they deal with councils coming from them high level spirits, starting with the spiritual demon Satan and that whole demonic realm, which they're nothing but angels. They're messengers, left-hand messengers. So as the prophets have been out here since, I say from the late 60s, right up under you people's nose, the spirit of the Most High is going out. So that spirit of good and evil was jumped off, and we're at the climax of it. We're at the end of it. So a lot of people are asleep, blind, deaf, and the scriptures speak about that. Only the elect, the 2 illuminary parties, The Luciferians, Isaiah the 14th chapter, speaking about the light bearers, the people who are in the know. You call them the Illuminati. Okay, we're truly in the know. The elite on the right hand side, which is the prophets, the elect, the chosen of the Most High. So we know more than the left hand through the spirit, but we can't carnally see everything that's going on behind the scenes through the eye. So they have all the, the carnal, tangible evidences. They're doing things as they perceive that they're doing what they want to do, but they're going by a script. Little do they know. And that's where we come in, because we know the inner workings of the spirit. And so now all of these Edomites have been given a battery pretty much to, stand upon their feet, because for so long, you Edomites over here in America were being beat down. You're being beat down because pretty much everybody know the history, and people were just been like, screaming this equality thing, on this racist thing. You're racist, but now it's okay to be racist. And that's good, because you devils need to come out of the woodworks and show who you really are. That's why it tells you in Revelations 12 that the devil should come down upon you having great wrath, because he knoweth he had a short time. The so-called white man, starting with their elite, is getting ready to come down on the earth to all the inhabitants of the earth, even their own in great wrath, because they know they have a short time. So you got these lower level Edomites right here who are just basking in their pride of that old glory of the, and see, oh man, between Jake and you fucking Edomites, you're the same, all right? Mainly the Jake woman, the Israelite woman. She thinks like an Edomite, and I'm about to show you, okay? Because really neither one of you can see what's really going on. Both of you are in the height of your pride. That's how you know we're at the end, because the scriptures speak about that. All right, and really, you're the two main groups. The end up, the so-called black woman, which is Eve. Literally, when you read about Genesis, Eve and the serpent is talking about a group of people. The trees is speaking about people. Okay, the other trees in the garden, and the serpent is linked to Esau, Edom, today. When you go into Revelations, all right, we're in his system, which is grown to be a beast, a dragon now. All right, but the spirit of this serpent, this witch, warlock, because that's what that's going into. You think about the serpent on the caduceus, it's going into a witch, a warlock, a crafty, deceitful individual. All right, that's Esau. That's the so-called white man. And then you have Eve, and you go back to Genesis. See, that whole book is parabolic. All right, that Gardenian pact is still in line today, but what's happening is these Edomites are being brought down through the spirit first and foremost. The prophets are here. All right, we're condemning these people. We're reading up on all their charges. We're going through the scriptures, showing them where they're going off, because Isaiah 13:1, the elite of this world, they watch us. Little do you people know, and that's why they have a lot of sorcery in the background that they're stirring up against us. But another topic for another time. Forget what I was gonna say. So that they're being brought down. They know that everything they've done since the inception of this country was to keep a secret on who we are, to erase us out of history. Psalms 83, from verse 1 all the way down. You know what I'm saying? Lie to the world, deceive the nations. Revelations, I think that's 20th chapter. They would go out into the four corners to, deceive the nations after they came out of that lower state right before the Renaissance period, when the Caucasian was up in the Caucasus Mountains living as cavemen. They were known as the Widwo, okay? Like a legendary creature in the woods, naked and hairy, walking on all fours. The brother just did a lesson on that, literally. And it's tracked through the Bible as well. Okay? According to prophecy, the Most High wanted to raise these people up in the last days. Daniel's 4:17. All right? The book of Obadiah speaks about it. Why? Because these are the people of the Lord's wrath and anger and indignation forever. Okay? This is the only nation of people who will not receive any repentance. Okay? And so they've skewered the mind of our people so much to where our women are just left stuck on the plantation, because women are the weaker vessel, and women, they follow power. All right. And yeah, Job 9:24, the earth is given, keyword given, into the hands of the wicked. The Most High has this set up like that. But see, spiritually, these devils are losing their grip. And at the brightness of the Lord's coming, they're going to lose their physical grip. And that's right around the corner, because we're right here at the last prophecy, which is the mark of the beast in World War III, Jacob's trouble. All right. And you're hearing a ceasefire, but the war has already started. So you know the mark is next. And we know the scriptures say that this devil won't be able to finish his MOTB system, his New World Order. So, hey, we're already in the midst of the New World Order. They're just using all these other, backdoor phrases so you don't grab onto it until they get you where they need you to be. All right. So look at this. He calls them she-boons. And this is why we, from our elders on down, we tell you to leave this woman alone. She's not your woman, bro. The two-thirds of our people got to die and come back on the other side. That's just what it is. That's, separate yourselves. The scriptures tell us the holy from the unholy, man. It's not that we want to be mean. It's not that, okay? It's because it's strictly business. The Lord is going to set up a righteous world, a righteous kingdom here on the earth. So this stuff has to be removed. It has to go, because there's no healing this. There's no changing this, bro. Look at this. We tell you to stay away from this black woman. There is no nation building with all of these Pookie and Ray Rays. Okay, they come from the American, scientific experiment. This new age so-called black woman, because we also tell you you're not black. It's just a color that has been demonized that has to do with everything void of light. Okay, we're supposed to be a holy people, which represents white and perfection and purity. Okay. But you clinging on to this American scientific experiment, black culture, Latino culture, Mexican culture. They showed you in that Cloning Tyrone movie. Okay? It creates complete degeneracy, man. All right? Black history, all that stuff, bro. Our history goes way back to the beginning of the sons of God, way back before anybody's history. All right? And you need to understand who you are in the midst of all this, and Jake cannot be in their pride. Like I said, both groups, you Edomites who are being brought down, okay, and then it's mainly you Israelite women. The rest of the men, they're following behind the women because they don't know. Hey, they're destroyed for the lack of knowledge. So they're literally men, all right, women in meat suits, okay, in men meat suits. The spirit of women in men meat suits, which makes them so violent. And you so-called Negro women, you started the so-called black community, this black ghetto ratchet community post-slavery. All right, when Reconstruction, when black men were building all them towns, okay, you wanted to take credit for it. Even today, you got all these black women come out and they speak upon that, and oh yeah, we was building towns. It was so-called black men that built towns, cities all around America that were flourishing and thriving, and the so-called white man bombed them and destroyed them and burned them all down. And then set up Martin Luther King, the small hat, okay? Set up your leaders to integrate you within society, and now look at us. We have nothing of our own. We're separated, okay? And it goes deeper than that, redlining, all kinds of stuff, bro. Okay, setting up people from other countries to come over here and take over the business sector, so you can't get up in there, you can't get those loans, all of that. Okay? So that was the black woman's, and this is one dude in my subscriptions, he always brings that out. He brings out hardcore evidences going back to the 60s, the 50s, going back, because a lot of you say, oh, nah, see, the black woman was with us then. No, she wasn't. And he brings out a lot of videos going back to the origins of how they set up there, and, they didn't want to be up under the so-called black man's leadership. They wanted to do their own thing, okay? And that's the license they've been given. And so now they have the freedom to just go sleep with the most degenerate men because they don't want any accountability, and they want full rights over the children, okay? They destroy the children, turn the children against the sons. Then the sons grow up hating the fathers, having no instructions, emotional like women, and this is what you have. And then the cycle just continues. And look at this shit. All the
fuck you mean, yo?
He said all the she-boons. Now these are the same hoes that'll hit you, slap you for less. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't even have to do nothing to them. You could just be somebody that they feel is a square, and they'll get Pookie and Ray Ray to beat up on you. Then they'll get in there and steal from you. They'll set you up. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of shit. And we ain't even talking about disrespect yet. You know? But this dude, and I'm speaking to you Israelite can't. You want to save all Jake, man. You can't save these people, man. You let these type of people into the kingdom, which we know they ain't coming into no kingdom. Bro, they'll let the devil right in the back door, man. They so dumb and wicked that even the devil said, you know what, let me chill out. Because this dude don't ever be this chill. He don't ever smile. He be wanting to start something so he could shoot Jake. And he probably a CIA op or something like that. But even he's amazed, like, damn, shit, I might be able to get some boxed in. Let me chill out.
We got all the she-boons. The fuck you mean, yo? I'm that nigga. I knew y'all.
He's that nigga. What makes him that nigga? Well, he is that nigga. And see, the so-called the black woman understands and recognizes Esau as that nigga. Because a niggard, the scriptures speak about that. Riches is not comely for a niggard, meaning that a niggard shouldn't be in a position of power. You know, and that's what the so-called white man is. He's a niggard, which means a very extremely selfish person, slave servant. And then on the flip side, the Latin word, niger or nigger, means a dark-skinned person. All right. Now, the book of Obadiah speaks about this man, you know, how he can't have enough. He heapeth all unto himself. He got to have everything. Okay. So the black woman recognizes that. When she looks, she ain't going to say that. But they're women. They're looking from another position, you know, and they're looking at a position of power. Okay, these men, they took down our men. And women are already second class to the men of their nation. So, in a sense, all these different women, because we're not in a righteous kingdom, they have some animosity towards their men. So we got double thing going on. You know, she done seen this man take down the tribes, and she got resentment. So it's like, look, we don't really have to listen to our men. Okay, and then, yeah, you know, the men of, you know, certain women have had, you know, things happen to them by men. So they just, you know, they just double down on hating the Israelite man. But the scriptures say, man, okay, never trust thine enemy. All right, you already behind enemy lines. Okay, it's not a game, man. You have to be able to identify your enemy. And see, they study their enemy. They've studied us. That's why he laughing. She-boons. He already knew. They be knowing he could crack one of them tonight. You know?
That's what's up. How y'all doing? None of y'all name.
And I forgot to say, but yeah, the black woman know that Esau is the number one nigga, like we've been saying. If anybody's a nigga, these niggas in America, from the woman to the men, have learned how to be niggas from Esau. Okay? Esau is just a nigga without flavor. Because the Bible says that our people are the salt of the earth. We're going to put flavor on it. You know, these niggas are wicked, but what makes it worse is they add flavor to it, like a HOMO. You know, the so-called white man could be like that and have a family you wouldn't even know. All right, but a nigga is going to be floating literally off the ground. You know, that's why it looks worse. You see, so the black woman know. Okay, this devil, he might not be able to dance. He might be corny. He might smell like hot dog water. But he's a real nigga, though. You know, you niggas talk about being real niggas. You really talking about trying to be like these devils. Go look up that show, Adam 22. I forget what they call that show. With Adam 22 or 23, whatever that nigga name is. Okay, all of them niggas on there are really, it is real cringe. It's just trying to be like a Edomite, a chocolate covered Edomites. They're trying to match that wicked energy of the so-called white man, but they don't have the providence to do it. They don't have the resources. They don't have the riches. You niggas talking about a drive-by, what the so-called white man doing a flyby. Okay, you talking about pushing some drugs? Well, the devil, he got the submarines and the ships and all the other credentials to do so. He got the fields. You know what I'm saying?
Shaniqua, right?
We fuck with you. I don't know what
What's your
everybody
name?
else be on, but like...
Y'all fuck with me?
Yes. Fuck with you. It's
How old are y'all?
grown as fuck. Don't worry.
Y'all are grown. All right, cool. That's all that matters. I just gotta make sure for the stream.
Yeah. Wait, are you...
I gotta get out of here. I don't want y'all to get shot up and shit.
And see, you'll look at one extreme, you'll say, oh, well, them just some hoochie mamas. This is your mothers, your aunties, your little cousin, all the women that you know. There's just different demographics of so-called black women. And what I've noticed over the years, they'll never admit it. Even my mom is super yellow highlighted woman. You think she's the Northern Kingdom. My dad is very dark skinned. And see, she had me, I was born in 85. That was when it was in to be the Negro man. Everybody wanted to love the Negro man because, we was popping in the entertainment. And now as I got older, I never forget when I just graduated high school. I don't think she remembered this, and I never heard her talk about this because she was always super pro-black. Because them high yellow women, they used to only like dark-skinned black men. I remember that. Now they all turned out. They're looking for the so-called white man. I remember she mentioned it. She was like, man, it seems like white men, they don't like me. I'm too yellow. I guess you got to be brown skin. I'm thinking, why the fuck would you tell me that? Like, I've heard my aunts, my cousins, my mother is that educated black woman. So it don't really matter, man. And they're not going to tell you this because at the end of the day, they feel like the so-called black man is a given. So they don't want to run him off. But in the back of their mind, a lot of these so-called black women, bro, they ready to just serve they really ready to serve the so-called white man until they get up in there and figure out how lame he is. Because it's two things. A lot of these so-called white men are actually Israelites. So-called black people in white boy meat suits. Okay? That's one of that's speaking about the mystery of the Gentiles. That's speaking about the scriptures, the what we used to call confusion of face. But then the actual Edomite, they'll get with an Edomite and be like, man, I thought this guy was going to be like Conor McGregor, or like, this white boy Brad Pitt, and them dudes are Israelites, man. Okay? Another topic for another time. But they'll get with a real Edomite and be like, this ain't all it was chopped up to be. This nigga lame as hell. And if he ain't got money, she'll probably never go back to that nigga. All right? But a lot of them don't get that close to Esau. And he become like an idol to them. This God,
We don't even play like that.
These people are crazy. Y'all got my back?
We got your back. We got your back.
they got his back.
Damn, dude.
They ain't got their children's back. They abort all their children. The boys, they ain't got their sons back. They don't put their sons on game, of anything, how to grow up in this world. They strip their sons of their fathers. Okay? They don't even want the father around. They say they don't need him around. Pick the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst and call a decent dude a lame and all of that. But they got his back. So they ain't got nobody back but Esau back. You see that? That's why he laughing.
You that nigga? Yeah, that's me.
That's why, they need to be cut off, man. All right? By they lonesome. And guess what? That's getting ready to happen anyway. All right? At the worst time possible. It's crazy how the Most High is setting them up. You black woman, you're going to be out there on your own, man. And you ain't got enough the simps and the Pookies and Ray Rays. It ain't enough of them. All right? To help you. And two, they're not in a masculine frame. So they're pretty much going to be in your spirit when the time comes. Because, see, Babylon has been a place that has protected all the demons. All right? And like the Elder Malcolm, he's been saying it lately, democracy is at effect. Democracy is working, actually. You people, you wanted to be up under this democratic rule. It's still sound. But what's happened is democracy is turning on itself. It's within to the citizens of America, because democracy used to be, something identified by other nations, and the other nations say, we don't want democracy. Okay, by the force of the sword. Okay, because what it does when democracy is employed in other countries, it cloaks itself as liberation, but it actually destroys family values, morale, okay, gender roles and stuff like that. Everything righteous under the sight, everything natural, it destroys it. Okay.
So yourself, that man is famous for, at least he, on his stream, he goes around calling black, like he walks around antagonizing black men, hoping someone will do something. And in a stand your ground state like Texas, if black men do something, he'll pull out his gun and shoot. That's what he's hoping for. He has never been successful. But he constantly antagonizes black men in the hopes that someone will react and he'll shoot and kill a black man. And you saw 3 black women ran up to him. As soon as they ran up to him, he goes she-boons. You know what a she-boon is? A female baboon. He called them fucking monkeys, and then asked, anyone of you named Shaniqua? Hey, no, nobody named And then he's laughing, shaking his head like, no fucking self-respect, no dignity. Like, so basically what I've been trying to explain to black men is this is them. This is majority of black women. Not all of them, but at least.
You too, though. If you ain't come back to who you are, your nationality, being a Hebrew Israelites, and you ain't tuning into the counsels of the prophets, bro, which our people have that access right now. The Heavenly Father, make sure that happens, because he's going to save a remnant, and the remnant is not going to be left in the dark. It's a very highly spiritual time to get it while you can get it, but the doors of repentance are closing right now. You're going to be no different from the 2/3. All right? Not knowing who you are. Okay? There's levels to this. It's just that our people have fallen so far that other Jakes can see it. But other Jakes is bugged out too. This dude's a bug out. If you see his other posts. Okay, we gotta hit the thing on the, at the root, man. Jake got all of this, debate and all of this shit in him, but they'll never want to get to the root. All right? It's fairly simple. Come back to the Lord. You're an Israelite of your prospective tribe. This place has to be destroyed. We're going to get out of here. The Lord's going to save us from this shit, man. Okay?
Minimum 70%. I swear to God, I don't have proof, but based on everything that if you become a woke black man, you start to realize this is them. They're following me right now on Instagram. They're following me on Facebook. They're following me on TikTok. They'll be in my comments, be like, "You hate black women." Not, it's them. It's them. Now,
this is what we've been trying to tell you. Now y'all
armed with this information, know how you move forward from now on. It's not all.
Look at the comments. Black women love white men. They will let a white man disrespect them, but not a black man. This woman right here said, I don't think they heard him. Nah, she heard him, because at the beginning of the video, she heard him. You even see her face. BS. Because they're a bunch of Ku Klux Keishas, they damn self. Facts. All right, this is the majority of Keishas, man. All right, they automatically did, in this system, our women are supposed to have enough knowledge to say, you know what, I know what this system is about for our men, our sons. So we gotta be wise. We could even play like we with the system, but we gonna bring it back home for our men. That'll be the righteous thing to do. Play the system. All right, but Keisha and them, they really playing Jake. They playing the system. They playing themselves. They playing the Most High. Well, they not really playing the Most High. See, and that's why the Lord is setting them up the way He's setting them up, which is gonna lead to great rejection. All right, Isaiah 4:1. It's definitely not going to be these type of women. And the majority of you women, all right? You're going to be very ashamed, and ain't nobody going to fuck with you, all right? In the time when you need help, when the society collapse and the grocery stores ain't open, the money system collapse, you ain't going to be able to outdo no man to get to that food. Here these motherfuckers go, man. Hawk on over. You need to pick up from the depot?
No,
No, pick up at the trailer, please.
Copy. Alright, I was gonna show y'all some more, but I gotta wrap it up.